Okay, everybody's got a fucking podcast. I mean, we have a podcast, so obviously anyone can do it.
Wait, this is a podcast?
Are you recording right now?
Technical difficulties.
No, you don't have to say anything. I'm going to edit it out.
Technical difficulties.
Okay. I put mayonnaise on a pickle.
Yo, I know y'all ain't playing skee ball. I'm trying to go to bed.
Do my feet... I mean, my feet stink, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Hey.
Hey. What's
Heyo.
happening? What's up with you?
What's up with me? What's up with you? We're in our brand new, partially set up studio.
Yeah, we moved a whole room over.
Lease is a little bit cheaper over here. A little bit cheaper for the lease over here.
Yeah, my wife charges us rent on the on whichever room I use for this because she doesn't like it. She wants it to stop happening. So, yeah.
So,
Dakota's background's pretty bland, as you can see. The plan is like kind of a bar there, but it's still got to happen. So, and then my background's okay. I think maybe some movie posters are in shot, and my Foo Fighters. So the places of things aren't exactly where they will be always, but you know, it's just kind of thrown together.
it'll come together. Just take some time, you know.
Yeah, and there's other small stuff that I had on the walls before that aren't up, so we'll get there. We obviously haven't figured out camera angles. I'm pretty sure this camera's in shot. And again, that background sucks. And, you know, and then you might be listening and you might be like, well, I don't give a fuck about your stupid background or your stupid studio. And that's also pretty fair. So we can just roll right into Scream number 2. So I'll ask you right away, Scream 1 or Scream 2?
Scream 1.
Me too.
I feel like Scream 2 was too drawn out.
Yes.
Like that movie could have definitely been done in like an hour and 15 minutes, but they dragged it to what, almost 2 hours?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was just over 2.
So it was definitely...
With credits and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not... I liked it. But, yeah, they did stretch it a little too much, for sure. What was your process of who you think the killer was in this one? Because...
I'll be honest,
Yeah.
I had it figured out within like the first 20 minutes.
Right, but the second part was the part that you probably didn't have, right? Because that was what I didn't have.
So
the mother part.
I figured it out by when what was his name? Okay, that's gonna bug me. The one dude who was there from last time, B-Rad from Malibu Most Wanted. I can't think of his character's name.
Well, Dewey?
Not Dewey.
Randy?
Randy. When he made the comment that, you know, something like, we don't know who he is or her or she or whatever. When he mentioned girl, I was like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing there. I was like, okay, so it might be a woman that's doing it this time. And then, you know, I was like, you know, they're not going to do the same thing they did for the last movie, so I'm ruling out the boyfriend. And then when the scene when, you know, Scream is in the house, and I was like, okay, I'm still going to rule him out. You know, he could be in cahoots with someone, but...
Mm-hmm.
But just like the one reporter just was very, like, pushy towards, you know, Gail.
Yeah.
And just, you know, had to make herself known, was there at every single scene, and I was like, I bet you it's either her or she's playing a part into it. I was like, 'cause she's there every time, and she's basically like trying to follow in the footsteps of Gail. At least that's what it looked like there. Now, with the revealing of who she really was at the end, I was not expecting that.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Not at all. But so like when she came out, and I was like, fucking knew it.
My process was, so like, I think you have no idea. Like, I had no guesses until they're in the hospital, and then Mickey has the comments to Sydney about what's he doing running back in that house, and then they pretty much come out and tell you, like, well, if no one else, Mickey's involved for sure, and so you just go, well, he's involved, and then is there's my thing was, is there somebody else involved with him? Excuse me. And the whole thing with they do frame Derek there with the whole. I mean, it's as far as within the story, not like people framing Derek, but within the story, he was framed, and you trying to figure it out of. Okay, Derek and Mickey, but I mean that was smart by you of just going, ruling out the boyfriend.
They're not going to do the same thing twice. I mean, they could, but like...
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen 3, 4, or 5, so they might.
Maybe in 3 it's the girlfriend, I don't know.
Right. That's more of a 5, more modern times. So the reporter I didn't get... It's funny to go back and watch it the second time. And because when you watch, especially this one, when you go back and watch it the first time, it's still weird on who was where doing what as far as the Billy and Stu thing. Mm-hmm. But as far as this one, when you go back, if after you know the answers, you go, oh, well, it's very like Mickey. You knew the first time because he said what he said, and so you just go, well, it's fucking Mickey. So you knew that the first time. But then going back the second time, some of the things that Billy's mother said. With the, they go in the station and they figure out it's a copycat killer, and she's walking out. They're all walking out, and then the comment by her once Gail storms off all angrily is, "I just thought that if they're repeating the killer, the killings from Woodsboro, that it'd just be this blah blah blah." Mm-hmm. Saying exactly what was said in there. But she wasn't in there. She wasn't in the police. So,
right.
So yeah. So that it's funny when you know the answer, you go back and you go, oh, that was a little thing that they dropped, But I don't know. I just never, for whatever reason, I never suspected the reporter. I mean, she was annoying, but I just didn't. So
my thought process on that was, especially one day when. Randy sprinkled the she or her or whatever, I forget the exact line, when he's talking about who the killer might be, and I was like, I'm kind of halfway retarded, but like I picked up on that. So I'm like, okay, you're trying to hint at something. Yeah.
Alright, so then going further in the notes. That lady just completely surprised me. So I honestly thought it was Mickey acting alone by the time they got to the end. So when she walked in, interesting. So beginning scene thoughts?
Well, to go on that, I have a note. 0 out of 10, I would hate that movie experience completely. Just so obnoxious and so obnoxious. Like,
I don't know that I've ever seen a movie theater format quite that a scenario like that.
Everyone gets handed masks and everyone just pretending to stab each other, and then someone gets stabbed and people start pretending to stab each other, and I'm like, I would leave. I'd be like, I can't even enjoy this.
Yeah. I wouldn't even care that I bought the $20 popcorn or whatever. Yeah. I'd just walk out.
I'd take the $20 popcorn with me.
Well, yeah. As far as the ticket, I'm like, fuck you guys.
We'll go see that fucking other movie.
The Sandra Bullock
movie.
Yeah.
I was like, I noticed the name of the movie they were going to go see was Stab, and I was like, that's as generic as the name Scream.
Yeah.
Just as generic as the name Scream. And then, I was like, it's Jada before she ruined Will's life.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you look through, or if you're talking about if we're talking about horror movie stuff, you know, because I mean this whole series of movies is based on the concept of the horror movie rules, right? So the whole like black people die first in horror movies, nailed it,
got it.
Good on the cameraman. He stayed alive. He knew what to do. He knew.
I'm out of here.
He knew when to exit. He said, "I'm gonna go find some Prozac, some X, not Malcolm." Yeah.
So what'd you think? What'd you think of the movie reenactment of the first Scream movie?
It was god awful, but I think and they even joke about it. That's what I love about this movie is about just at least the first two, because like I said, I haven't watched 3, 4, 5, so I don't know much. But my whole idea of movie rules comes from them doing like the horror movie, like you know when Randy's talking about the horror movie rules in the first one. I'm like, oh, it's great. Let's do movie rules, you know. Right around the time I watched this movie, I started going like, "Here's a movie rule," you know, that kind of. So
I don't know when they was showing that movie, and I was like, the goddamn Jiffy Pop. It just pissed me off all over again.
They nailed it. They put it right back.
It pissed me all off over again. But you know, fucking Jiffy Pop.
Fuck, where did I? Oh, okay, yeah. So the comment from Sydney in the previous movie, Dewey says, "I see it. I see it as Meg Ryan playing you. You know, you do great." And he's like, "Thanks, Dewey, but with my luck, it'll be Tori Spelling." And then they have Tori Spelling playing her in this movie, which I thought was great. Because I mean, they could have just left that alone and not done anything with it. But of course, like that's awesome. I like that they have Luke Wilson just playing the stupid dude, Billy, just a terrible version of Billy. I thought that was fun. Luke Wilson's great. I like Luke Wilson, but and they even show that little scene from it, and Randy and Dewey are kind of watching the screen, and then Randy's like, "Yeah, I'll wait for DVD." So even the cheesy reenactment, they're not trying to sell it in the movie as some great movie. They just go like, "Yeah, that's bad." So I don't know. That's what I like about just the series. Very, very authentic. I mean, authentic in that they're being authentic about the fact they're being cheesy.
Yeah.
So is there a caller ID that sees through *69? Because that's what Sydney's thing. I mean, unless the dude wasn't. I assume a guy's going to call private if he wants to call Sydney and
*69 blocks the call. Or blocks the caller ID. So
yeah, she had the little thing.
Unless they probably just
see through private, or these dudes think
they probably
slick.
forgot.
Yeah.
On like the first scene though, at no point while I'm in the bathroom am I going to put my ear up against the stall wall. I don't care what's going on now. I'm not gonna. I don't know. Something about I don't like touching things in public restrooms.
No, I don't like to touch anything.
Especially not there with my face.
No, not at all.
Especially not at a movie theater. I don't think I've ever came across one movie theater bathroom that I've looked in there and be like, I'd put my face on that floor. I'd put my face on the wall.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. I don't even like putting my ass on the seat, really. Charles and I left Roadhouse once, and I was shitting in that bathroom at the AMC. Just had to go. I don't like shitting places, And I didn't know Charles followed me in. It was, it was a rough Halloween shit, And I just, I'm in there and there's sounds. And I remember, like, a particularly, like, liquidy, loud fart. And I hear, like, and I'm like, are you standing in here? Yeah. What the fuck? Why'd you just wait outside, you fucking weirdo? Yeah, that guy, I didn't like Jada being like, I got my money. I want your money. Bitch, go buy some popcorn.
At least she's true to how she probably really is. That was natural for her. That was ad-libbed.
She didn't even. That
wasn't even right in there. It was just ad-libbed. They just kept it in there like, I like this.
Yeah. You got anything else in the opening scene? Or
Um,
Sydney and what's her face? Hallie in their
Just-
scene?
So much chaos in that movie theater.
Yeah, fuck that.
So much chaos. And then like, you just imagine getting killed in front of all them people and just nothing.
Everybody just kind of looks at you like,
It's just,
The whole thing about if someone's got blood dripping out of their mouth and they stand up and interrupt the movie, I don't know that I'd consider that. What kind of publicity stunt would that be? I don't know.
I was like,
I mean, especially the yell she let out.
I think she was being a little bit over dramatic.
I mean, clearly
She
the
said,
yell of someone that's like,
the whole like lean back, and I was like, okay,
yeah.
a little over dramatic, but I guess
I don't know. You've never died before,
I've never
so
died before. I mean, maybe I'll be that dramatic when I die. I don't know.
yeah. Oh, so they're discussing sequels in Randy's movie theory class, film theory, whatever. Totally disagree. Terminator 2 is much better than Terminator 1. I don't care what you say. It's funnier. The action's better. I don't care what anyone says about. Some people are like, "Oh, Terminator 1's just so much more classic, and it's actually a better movie." And it's well, how do you figure? Because all the dialogue, like, just 80s movies are just inherently bad. Like, you know, movie soundtracks in the 80s. You know, I mean, you can find probably a couple good 80s movies, but I mean, that movie's definitely better than certain 80s movies because most 80s movies are just bad and cheesy. But 90s movies go up. Terminator 2 is so much better. I don't care what anybody says. It's better. You can't convince me. The action's better. And you go, oh, well, the action doesn't make the movie. The action made the fucking movie. That movie was 100 times better than Terminator 1. I like Terminator 1. I watch it. It's good movie. It's a good movie. I like it. Terminator 2 is better. I don't care what anybody says. You're entitled to your opinion, but it's wrong.
I was gonna put a note on here about that. Hey, they should listen to our podcast episode. See what have a little better insight on Terminator 1 versus Terminator 2.
Exactly.
We just need to like release that back in time, and like it needs to be featured in the movie.
Yeah. There you go.
Hey, if you guys want to know the real truth about Terminator 1 and 2, listen to our earlier podcast. I don't know what episodes they are, but
Yeah, I should have wrote those down for this one, but
we won't dig into it. But we have already released them, and they are on all podcast streaming platforms.
Indeed. I do agree on Godfather Part 2. Godfather Part 2 is better than Godfather, the first one. I do like The Godfather better, but Godfather Part 2 is a better movie. So, they're right about that one. I want to know what happened with Dewey and Gail. Because I would have thought they would have gotten together after that. But maybe she just didn't wait on Dewey in the hospital. What do you think about that?
I think that she probably just wanted to ride the fame of having all this big exclusive story, and just like, fuck you, small town cop
That's fair.
that now can't walk right. And you think me, Gail Weathers, will be caught with someone like you? Nope.
That was really funny in that scene where they're making out and they figure out they're being watched. And yeah, 'cause I think the one hand's goofy. Like Joey. We're like, oh. I don't know. This is just about. This is me writing notes down when, you know, the different attacks are happening, and so like who's doing what. I think someone was always operating the phone, and someone was in the costume doing that shit. But that would make it hard as far as, like, logistically, that's what makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that makes it hard to coordinate
Yeah, because it's
the attacks and whatever. I guess the person hiding has to listen for phone call to end, I guess. Or, you know, the responses of the victim on the phone.
Plus, you know, this movie came out in, what was it, 97? So cell phones weren't still, like, really
Right.
a widespread thing. I mean, they were there, but, like, they were big and bulky and expensive and very little coverage.
Yeah.
But I had a note here. So like when they called the sorority house, I was like, people just talk about anything to random people on the phone. Is this just like something of the 90s? Because at no point have I ever like been on the phone with someone I don't know, but like, yeah, so I'm doing this, and you know, everyone left for the evening. I was just be like, just indulge too much information.
Yeah.
That's what get these people killed. They indulge too much information.
Well, I have had that thought. The whole reason I've never put it in a note and said it on here is just because the thought is, well, if they don't talk on the phone with them, I mean, whoever's being Scream at that point is still just gonna.
They're not kill them.
They're not playing ball. It's not like they're gonna go. Well, they won't talk on the phone with me, so I guess I won't. I guess I won't go in and get what I wanted. So.
What if that's the rule?
Maybe that's the rule. We have to.
You can't kill someone you don't have a conversation on the phone with.
Maybe. For these movies, anyway.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah. I'm curious when it gets further along if they embrace the cell phone thing of like maybe somebody answers the phone and it's like
like they look and
I don't know that number.
Click.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then Mickey said Ewoks blow when he's talking about sequels to Randy. Because he goes, Star Wars Episode 5, and he's like, it's a trilogy, it was planned, doesn't count. And then she's like, I like those little things. And he's like, Ewoks, they blow. And I was like, fuck off, man, Ewoks are awesome. Of course you kill people. Ewoks rule. Of course, Mickey's late to the party. The fact that Derek is late with him is why you might suspect him. Mom on the phone, Mickey in the costume, I think, in that scene. I think a lot of Mickey's goal was to kind of make Derek look guilty in a lot of this movie. So the whole, like, slice on the arm and just run away deal kind of makes it look like it was a set-up thing where it's like, just get me on the arm. It looks like I tried to fight you, you know? Like, it looks like that. So I think that's a lot of Derek's goal is kind of... I think most of what this story does is just trying to frame the other people that aren't doing it.
Just what they kind of did in the first one, so...
Right. Well-written story. And then... again, Billy's mom... The whole thing about repeating the events of Woodsboro, you watch it later and you go, oh, yeah, makes sense. Again, I think Mickey having Derek do the whole song and dance thing in the cafeteria is, he knows this, the fraternity dudes are going to kidnap him, then he's like, oh, he's already tied up. Walk off with him, I don't know if the fraternity dude... it's like the fraternity dudes put him in the rafters. That so much of what I wonder about movies sometimes is like logistically,
like how it worked, how it happened.
Yeah.
How did this person get here? How did that even like make feasible sense? Like the 30 minutes at the end of Scream 1, that was definitely longer than 30 minutes. It's 12 o'clock. Wake me up at 12:30, and then 20, and then 20.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah,
What the fuck am I thinking?
Same director.
Yeah, that was just.
Yeah.
It didn't make no fucking sense. Like, logistically, that time just doesn't.
Yeah. Where does that time go? Yeah.
We discussed it already.
Go back to Nightmare on Elm Street. Or ahead. I don't know when this one comes out, but
we'll find out.
We'll find out eventually. You'll find out. We already talked about Sydney was right about the whole Tori Spelling thing. Apparently, Wes Craven has cameos in these movies. I did not know that. So in the first one, it's actually a play. It's actually a Nightmare on Elm Street joke. Because if you know, the janitor actually had like a sweater on, and he had a top hat. It wasn't like Freddy's top hat, but it was a little taller. but the janitor had the striped sweater on. And, when the principal walks out and he's like, fuck, he's like, not you. And the janitor's like, fuck you. Or I don't remember what he said, but, that little scene, that was Wes Craven, I guess. He was being the janitor.
Speaking of that, I didn't write it down, but I remember there was a scene, I forget what part of the movie it was in the earlier part, like beginning parts of the movie, where I believe it was, I think it was Sydney had opened up her closet, and there was a sweater that was that color.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. You might have missed it. I just remember I looked at it and I was like, huh. It was like slightly off, but it was the same stripe pattern and same basic colors. And I was like, huh. I was like, I wonder.
Nice. Yeah, so I guess his cameo in this one was just, you barely see it. He's just a doctor that you see kind of in the background in the hallway when Derek's getting his arms. Why am I doing it like it matters? When Derek's getting his arm worked on, he's kind of a doctor in the hallway. And you barely see him. So it's barely even a cameo.
Just kind of like a background character.
Yeah.
There was that scene where, and I think it was right at right after he got his arm sliced and all the cops and everything were at the house, and Gail had came up and everything, and she was there trying to, I guess, talk to Sydney or whatever. And I remember I had this note here where they were, Gail was talking to her cameraman, and then they panned back over the house, and then talking to the cameraman, and they panned back over to Gail and the cameraman, and panned back over the house, and you see the cop cars. And my note was, and I had to go back and rewind to make sure it said, I said, wait, did that license plate say Ohio on it? And I went back and rewound, I'm like, it fucking did. And I started looking, I looked it up, it's supposed to take place in a fictional college town in Ohio. I don't know if you caught that.
No.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Fictional college town of, what was it?
College was Windsor.
Maybe it was Windsor, Ohio.
Who's to say?
Who's to say?
But yeah, so apparently he does the cameo thing. I guess it's in all the movies. I think his cameo what I read was his cameo got cut out of 4 because they cut a scene and something about the story changed, and so his cameo was no longer relevant. So that's fun. I love the cameraman. He's sitting there sharpening his pocket knife. And that's when he says about, go get some food, go get some Prozac.
Max, not Malcolm.
Right.
Another scary movie rule. You gotta have the funny black guy.
Funny black guy, usually we kill that guy.
Yeah, so he kind of been a rule.
Been a rule there. But, I mean, the 2 black people died in the beginning, so.
Maybe that was to compensate for all the black kills. You gotta have you gotta have minimum of 1. 2 is great. 1 black kill is good. 2 black kills is great. 3 is overdoing it. Now it seems like it's just a racist
now
movie.
It's a racist movie.
Now it's just a racist movie.
Yeah. Did any black people die in the first one? I don't think about it. I think it was a pretty exclusively white movie in the first one.
Well, if you remember, I don't know if you caught this at the beginning of the movie when Jada's character and Omar Epps' character, that was Phil and Maureen. When they were walking to the in line to go to the movie, she made a comment about how these are all white films and there's nothing but white people in all these films and all these scary movies, and I was like, hey, it's kind of a stab at Scream 1 because I think it was all white people.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah, there you have it. What's funny is both in both of these movies, the people that die in the beginning still make the cover.
Yeah.
And
it's
like
funny.
Drew Barrymore's got a prime time spot on the cover of the first one, and then Jada and whatever his name is.
Omar Epps.
Omar Epps.
Actually, looking at the cover, I think only Jada made it. Yeah, I mean,
Did Omar not make it?
Yeah, looking at the.
So I thought I remembered her.
Looking at
him making it.
You see Jada.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
just Jada. And then is let me say it one more time. Is that
Okay, she's not gonna get any bigger.
Oh, so Mickey didn't make it. And then is that one of the see Sydney gets the front spot, and
She
then
gets right over there.
the right side, and then maybe that's Gail Weathers on the left. Or you think maybe that is?
I think that's Gail given the eyebrow. I'm gonna go Gail.
Yeah. So no, the Killers didn't make the cover, whereas Billy made the cover in the first one. I don't remember if Stu made the cover, but interesting.
You know, in both of the movies, the first killing of the people had absolutely nothing to do with the fucking plot.
Other than just like
Be killed.
Oh no, there's a killer. Like that's literally the only thing that it's establishing in the movie is
There's a killer.
There's a killer now.
And then immediately, and like, must be a serial killer. I'm like, wait, hold on, I just killed one person.
They kill another person. They go, oh no. We thought this might happen. It's almost as if it's in the script.
I've seen this movie before.
I was kind of mad they killed Randy. Because I mean, you can replace that character in a third movie. Obviously, the movie nerd who talks about the rules of the horror movie, but I don't know. He's just the innocent character. Still the virgin.
Yeah, never got laid.
Technically, so I don't know. To me, that was like, oh, keep Randy in there. I think he's a very integral part of this structure. I mean, you can replace him in 3, 4, 5. Maybe they didn't know they were doing 3, 4, 5 also at that point, but I liked Randy. I wish they would have killed him.
That the scene when Randy and Sydney are walking out of the school and what's his name? Her boyfriend.
Oh,
What's his name?
Derek.
It comes up and they talk about like how she's talking about how worried she is or whatever, something like that, and he's like, I got something that can fix that, and they're both Randy, so he's like, what? And he just starts making out with her. I was like, see, his response was like the typical like 90s response, get a room. Like, I feel like my instinct would have been like, they got done like, okay, me next, because I'm worried too.
Yeah.
Me?
I'm kind of scared. Can I have a kiss, Derek?
You want to get me next too, right? I mean...
Yeah, it was not nice of Derek to leave him out of the kiss.
Yeah. How you gonna leave him out of the safety kiss? It's not a romantic kiss, it's a safety kiss.
Yeah, safety kiss. Come
Safety kiss. Homies do it all the time.
Randy shouldn't have moved so much in that courtyard scene. He's on the phone, looking around. If I'm on the phone and there's a killer around, I'm staying right in the middle there, just way out in the open because...
You can see something coming at you.
This guy's a knife guy. This isn't the shooter. I'm spinning. I'm watching my perimeters, my peripherals. What's going on? I don't know. That's just me. Plot.
I think they should do a Scream rendition where he doesn't use a knife, he uses a gun.
That's all just so much simpler. It's just a sniper.
What's your favorite horror movie?
Oh, I don't know. Just a scream movie called Sniper.
What's your favorite movie? American Sniper. Good.
It'd be funny if it was just a movie just about people getting sniped. And so you just drop in on all these little storylines. And it's always like, oh my god, that guy died. They just make it terrible that that person died. So, I don't know, the father or somebody just had a kid and like, okay, honey, I'll see you later. Going to work. Walks out in his car, gets sniped. Things like that.
It's just a bunch of mini stories.
Just a bunch of mini stories
you
called
just,
Sniper.
Yeah, you just drop in, like me and you were having a conversation, and, we're
Funny the way they died in that horror movie.
Yeah, we're talking about how funny.
I bet if we were in a horror movie, you'd probably die because you're close to the window. Ha 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 ha. Yeah.
Movie concept.
Bad movie concept, probably.
Maybe,
or they make it seem like they're going to stop the sniper, and then every time they even get close, just people keep, and then, they get close enough, and the dude just has like an Uzi. He's just like...
And then the sequel...
Sniper 2.
The sequel, Sniper 2, will be... The sniper gets sniped.
Oh, wow.
And then he's going around sniping other snipers.
3, that sniper gets sniped. Sniper 4, that sniper gets sniped.
It's like Sharknado, where we just don't end.
And then Sniper 5, that next sniper misses, and he looks in the camera and he goes, "Sniper, no sniping."
It's like Sharknado. I think we got a franchise right now. Let's pitch it to sci-fi.
There we go. Let's see. Cotton was a hardcore red herring. Like, it was too obvious with Cotton. Just the way they made him act that he was a red herring. Like, just the way he's all very aggressive with Sydney when he's asking about going on Diane Sawyer. Yeah. Which I've never fucking heard of. I guess maybe that was a thing.
I mean, I've heard of her.
Yeah.
Maybe the whole her having her own show was maybe a made-up thing.
I've heard of Tom. But I think he's fictional, Tom Sawyer. I don't know what it is. No, I believe that she's a person. Yeah, so he just...
Yeah, because she was... So, obviously, they probably couldn't say because of reasons or whatever, but she did ABC World News Tonight, Good Morning America in 2020.
Because of reasons or whatever.
Because of reasons or whatever. The same reasons we can't play music or audio clips.
Because of reasons. I just thought how that was used, Reasons or whatever. Anyway. It's just like saying, like in a movie, something happened because of plot or whatever. It's like the same kind of logic,
It's not incorrect.
No, it's not. You're right. Yeah, so it's Cotton, like, it made me think, like, this guy just always has the worst fucking luck. Like, someone frames him in the first movie, they put the bloody jacket in his, what did they say, in his car or something like that. Like, of course he got framed, and then he's in jail for a year and all that. And then, in this one, he's just trying to talk to Sydney. And, of course, Gail didn't plan out, the interview. And so then Sydney slaps Gail again. I wonder if that's a recurring theme. Do you think Gail gets hit in the third one? I can't wait to watch and find out.
What do you think the third one now she'd have better reflex and be like...
Oh, you think Sydney gets a left hook? Like, Gail goes... Boom!
One can only hope.
Bob and weave, Anyway, I don't know boxing.
His acting style is interesting. Cotton's.
Oh, yes.
That's...
I know it's Ray Donovan.
Yeah.
Far later, Lee Shriver.
Yep. So that's exactly how his acting style in Ray Donovan is as well. It's kind of like just, I don't know, like, seems like monotone, not that much emotion.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just if that's just generally his acting style, or if that's just how they wanted him to play, like Ray Donovan, or played this character, just kind of like, or maybe he just can't show emotion. He doesn't look like a very emotional guy.
That's true. Ray Donovan's like is that like a mobbish show? Or what's going on?
Kind of. Like, it's... We talked about this in the previous podcast. I watched the first season.
Yeah, but that was in like March, so I don't remember shit.
First season and like some of the second season before just, stopped watching it because I didn't have enough time. Kind of like... And that's not really a mobbish movie, but like he's like a professional fixer. As in, like, he goes and cleans up people's messes. He's
like the wolf.
I think you referenced that in that podcast as well. Yeah. So like if you're a famous NBA player and you pick up a stripper or whatever, and then she overdoses in your hotel room, he's gonna come get her out and make it seem like nothing ever happened, so nothing ever comes out to the press. Never existed.
Kevin Hart could have used him in
Yeah.
True Story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Which, this series is okay, but something about all the cheese.
yeah,
There's a lot of cheese in that one.
a lot of cheese, a lot of cheddar.
Yeah. It's entertaining. Like, I'd give it a rewatch because I haven't watched it in a minute.
Different acting style for Kevin Hart too. So
Yeah.
that's what made it interesting, was a
And
different acting style.
It wasn't him with the cheese.
Yeah.
The cheese came from others. And the way that they... I don't know if you gotta pay money to say Instagram or whatever, but like... Or, you know what? I didn't know that the Shade Room was a thing, and I was like, what's this Shade Room thing? Like, I guess, what was that? Like some Instagram page or some shit like that?
Basically, yeah.
And I didn't know what the fuck that was, so maybe I'm just behind on times, but it just seemed... I don't know.
The Shade Room is actually, it's an actual...
Like, I didn't know it was a
Like,
thing,
it's-
and I was
it's-
like,
yeah.
we just, like, replacing Instagram. Like, we're not supposed to say Instagram? Like, I didn't know, so...
Yeah. Shade Room is like TMZ, like 2.0.
But on Instagram.
On Instagram.
Yeah.
It's like TMZ mixed with World Star Hip Hop.
Interesting
Did
combo.
did you ever browse worldstarhiphop.com?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, so they used to love them fight compilations.
yeah.
I used to watch. I couldn't wait till like I think it was Tuesday. I'd get home. I'd get home from school. I'd make my after school snack of ramen noodles.
Yeah.
Get on my computer. Go to worldstarhiphop.com. Watch the fight compilations. I'm like, you got a fucking ass beat.
Yeah, I never got the fascination of watching the fights. I guess that's why I never caught the UFC bug, you know? Just watching people get the fuck beat out of each other. To me, I was always like, that looks like it hurts.
Would not want to be that guy.
Yeah. Alright, so Scream 2. Most of the, like, getting towards the end of the movie, I just said the fact that Dewey has been running around like he can fight this killer is ridiculous. And he's running around, his arm's all goofy, he's got this limp. Like, you run at a guy with a knife. And he's never armed in this movie either.
Mm.
If he was running around with a gun drawn, maybe. But he's just running around with his, his nerve-damaged arm and his, the severed nerve, the leg thing. He's got this goofy leg thing going on. Not making fun of him.
I am.
Okay, go ahead. But I just, like if I had a broken arm, I wouldn't be running around trying to fight people. You know what I mean? And he doesn't have a broken arm, but he obviously doesn't have full function going on. So, I don't know. That's all I thought about it.
Hey, a little fun fact. Speaking of Dewey, Rosanna on the Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
That's his actor's. It's his sister.
Nice.
I literally looked that way and I saw the last name of
David,
Mark
yeah.
Quinn. I was like, wait a minute. I just pulled it up real quick. That's his sister. I apparently can't fucking talk today because I'm stumbling all over my fucking words. I don't know if I'm on a stroke or something, but I cannot fucking talk today.
It's probably because of reasons or whatever.
Reasons. I don't know why I can't fucking talk today, but I apologize for the person who has to do closed captions on his YouTube video. Jason.
I don't think we do closed captions. But...
Hey, we're doing closed caption for this video.
Because they suck? Seems like terrible logic.
Not only can you listen to the video and watch it, you can read it too. It's like reading a book.
Yeah, let's not.
We just have someone type up our entire podcast, like word for word, and they just print it into like a book, and we just start selling it like, oh, this is the book to the podcast.
Like, oh, is it like about the process? And
No,
it's literally just transcribed.
to a book.
I'm not gonna fucking buy that.
Yeah.
Also, the other thing with Dewey is, like, I don't see how he could have survived that stab. I mean, I know they go, oh, old scar tissue, you know.
No.
I was like, no, but he stabbed the fuck out. If you get stabbed so much there's blood coming out of your mouth,
You're dying.
You're dead.
You're dying.
That's ridiculous. That's all. So, yeah, the fact that Dewey's running around like he can fight everybody and then surviving that stabbing, ridiculous. But, whatever. I think I read that Wes Craven wanted to keep him alive because he thought he'd be a likable character. Which would also lead me to believe that they did know they were going to do more movies. So.
I wouldn't leave the door open.
I said those cops handled the car conflict wrong in every way. I would have hit the gas as soon as the window broke. Dude shouldn't have said freeze when he was in front of the car. He should have just shot him. I mean, I know there's people behind, but...
Hey.
I don't know.
Fuck it.
Aim low. Or, something. Just, I don't know. And I don't know, man. Take dude's foot. Why didn't the car start rolling? Because when that guy, got stabbed, the window breaks. He got his throat slit, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So that dude probably all his muscles probably, releases tension, right? He just kind of, right? So then he probably lets off the brake. The car should probably start rolling. Other dude gets out of the car. Would you just shoot the guy? Please.
It's simple.
I mean, you're sitting in the passenger seat. I mean, you can't even just... I don't know, man. You gotta stand up to draw a gun? Is that what's going on? I don't know. And he just gets his ass beat on the outside of the car. Those cops suck.
You gets that fucking pipe through the back of his head. That was, ooh.
Those cops suck.
Pipe went through the back
That
of
was
his head.
probably the most gruesome kill of the movie.
Pipe through the back of the head, and he was still like, oh. And I was like, oh, just die. But then, just fucking die already. Like, that's,
Yeah, that's rough.
It's rough. And then on top of that, like, so they cut to the fact that, he still kind of had the gun in his hand, and he released tension. You could see he was still, like, trying to pull the trigger, even though it was while he was making that noise.
Yeah.
But, they make an emphasis that the gun's right there. So, like, I don't know. I've never been in a situation like that, but I feel like maybe, like, especially if I got out of the car because the killer was knocked out. Hey, Pete Price has his gun on him, somewhere near him. Let me find it, and let me kill this dude, and let the movie be over with.
Yeah, that was my thing. But then I believe it pops back up.
Yeah.
If you remember, she has the gun. She's like, oh, it's this officer's gun that, his fingerprints are going to be on and yada yada. And it all traces back to Mickey, so I think she probably came and got it.
It pops back up, but, like, at the time, she could have just got out and...
Right. I mean, after that trauma, you got to climb out of the window over the killer. So that's probably a weird thing. And then you're probably not scoping out the area. Any guns. I mean, if you're in their situation, you assume that probably fell down somewhere in the road on the way over there, right?
Just maybe give it a look. I mean, he's in the car, he's knocked out, he's a stabber, he's not a shooter, so at least you got, like, a few seconds of reaction time.
Yeah.
A few seconds is better than none of, walking away and then be like, I want to go back and look at his face, and then your friend gets her fucking throat slit over, or gets stabbed in the chest or whatever.
Yeah, that one was... Like, Sydney...
Why wouldn't you have just done what?
You already made the decision.
You were over top of him. You could just be like, huh.
Yeah, the honk scared her off. It's like, just do it. Would you just do it? Just, get out of the car. Oh, it's that guy.
Yeah.
Let's get to a phone.
I bet he still has his knife on him.
That was my other thing.
I bet he still has his knife on him.
Disarm him, I don't know, it was goofy. But then, I don't know, I thought it was funny. Like, there's windows in the car you clearly see. And then she climbs the front seat and goes, oh, we're jammed up against the wall. Yeah, no shit!
You see it up against the wall.
You can see out the window.
Or like when they get out the car, when he got off the car scene, he's like, I want to go see who it is. And like, I looked and I'm like, it doesn't look like there's a head in there. I don't look like there's anybody sitting in that driver's seat. And of course they get up and he's not fucking there. I'm like, what did you know?
What did you...
What did you know?
How convenient. Yeah. These killers, man, they move well.
Very quietly.
Very quietly.
Very stealthy.
You gotta think, you're definitely concussed because you just were in a high-speed wreck.
Yeah.
And you climb out the window of a car and you're still just agile like a cat.
Magic.
You're not fumbling all over the place.
You need to be in the special forces.
If you can
do that.
Be concussed and then just kind of... Oh, okay. Plus, her friend is looking in the direction of the car.
Like most of the
when
time.
they're talking about
Yeah.
it. So wouldn't you think she'd be like, oh, yo, he's right there. He's right there. Like, I don't know. Wouldn't you think? She'd be like, hey!
He's getting out.
I don't know. Unless in the split second where she's like, no. Like,
he's looking in the side view mirror. He's like, look away, bitch, look away, bitch, look away.
Yeah, maybe he's magic.
Ducks out, does a tuck and roll real quick.
What you didn't know is he put a secret compartment earlier in the movie in the bottom of the cop car.
Just drops out. He's like, he didn't know what cop car they're going to be in, so he did it in all the cop cars. Just spend the better half of a month just cutting holes in the fucking bottom of cop cars.
I don't know. Hey, you're a car guy. What the fuck would have been wrong with the back door in a front-end collision? Plot? Did plot get jammed in the door?
Newer cars, it's possible. Older cars, it's still possible, but like older cars were like built fucking sturdy.
Yeah.
So like all the damage always got centered like wherever the impact was. But I mean, I could see if you hit something hard enough, it could bend the frame enough where you can't get the door open.
Okay. I just didn't know.
Newer cars, that happens a lot because newer cars are like designed to, instead of the force of the impact be on one part of the car, it's supposed to spread the force of the impact around the car, therefore making it to where you as a driver aren't taking like a full brunt of hitting a wall.
Interesting.
Older cars, you hit the front wall and like the front of the car takes the brunt and your body takes the brunt, versus like if they distribute the force out equally around the body of the car, it lessens by the time it hits you. It's still gonna fucking hurt, but like it's not gonna be like you just hit the wall. It's gonna be like your car hit the wall and you were in the car.
Okay.
That's why newer cars like basically get totaled out so fucking easily now versus fucking 1970s Buick could slam into a fucking wall and still drive away.
Okay.
Oh, tidbit.
Just hose the person off of the dashboard. And...
Yeah. Keep on rolling. Adjust the carburetor.
I just thought maybe someone jammed some plot in there.
Yeah, you know what? The plot really had to be in there.
Take it to the body shop and they're like, somebody put plot in here! God, everybody's always putting plot in the door frames.
But the only other thing I could think of would be maybe... Because obviously you can't open it up from the inside because it's a cop's car. Maybe the door was still locked. Like maybe the door was still locked and, and to be fair, if you can't open it up from the inside because it's a cop car, obviously it's not going to have the little fucking lever that them cars in the 90s had where you just boop. So, like, maybe it was just locked and needed the key to unlock it. Mm. So, maybe.
Could be.
I don't know.
That's
they
cool.
had some force ripping down that fucking caging, though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how easy that'd be for a...
I don't think that's very, very easy to just rip down. She saw a little fucking tear and was like...
Yeah, I mean, it's not like seeing a paint chip on the wall where you just start scratching at it, you know what I mean? It's like it's a fucking metal cage, I don't know.
She's great. I'm like, God damn, you fucking strong as shit.
Yeah, she focuses on forearms day.
I'm like, maybe you're the killer.
Yeah.
The ultimate plot twist takes off the mask. It's fucking her.
Sydney.
Did you ever notice she was never in the same frame at the same time?
It's because she's great at changing clothes. So Sydney gets out of the car, runs into the theater. Apparently, she's attracted to the music. I don't know. I would have been attracted to a phone.
Yeah.
Police, and then maybe...
Help.
I don't know. Definitely... I don't know. For that to be the villain plan, to be playing music in the theater, and for her to run into the theater, just seems a little too perfect. And it just seemed like it all worked out too well.
I don't know, I think you would be running for help, not to the theater.
Yeah.
Or running to find...
I guess she thought there was help in the theater if you want
to... Or be running to find the barrel of a shotgun, because apparently this is what your life is just going to consist of. For the rest of your life, it's just this. I think, you know what? The barrel of a shotgun seems a lot better than just having to fucking live through that every single fucking year. Like, you know what? Just, I'll Kurt Cobain myself.
Yeah. So all that happens, then Derek, she can't decide if he's on Mickey's team or not. Then Derek gets shot, and, the villain downfall always talk. It's like, yo, if you just shot her.
They just have to explain how they got there and why they got there and their whole life story and...
Yeah. You see, I first started thinking about killing gerbils when I was 8.
It was when I shoved one in my ass. And it didn't survive. But it scratched me. And I was like, fuck that gerbil. I kill gerbils. I started off with gerbils. Then I moved to bunnies. From bunnies I went to cats. Cats I went to dogs. Dogs I went to horses. Horses I went to
cats. You shoved a horse up your ass? Oh, you just meant on murder.
No. Both.
Is there a Charles?
No.
Maybe there's a Harley. He'd be further down the street. We don't have to...
That's a Harley.
That's a Harley.
That's a Harley.
Well, let's finish up before he comes in and crashes. Yeah, always the villain downfall. Talk. A little dramatic when Mickey gets shot again. Just the... And he just... definitely jumped back a lot. I don't know. Yeah. People seem to get awful airborne when they get shot.
I know.
In movies. Like Harder They Fall was the prime example of the dude just like...
I don't think anyone has
flew back like 5 feet.
Shot. You just fly in the air like that, like... Especially not from a standard issue police pistol.
Right. Like I don't know about like with those big revolvers in Harder They Fall. If maybe I don't know if I shot you with a .44 Magnum right here, you might like because that's some heavy duty shit. But I don't know about guns and stuff, so I'm just talking out of my ass here.
Well, yeah, I've never shot anyone. I've never been shot. If you want to test this theory out, I'll shoot and you can be shot and we can see how far you go.
I'll put a bulletproof vest on.
Put a bulletproof vest on. I aim for your leg.
Thanks. All right, so let's wrap this up. What would you rate this movie, and why?
I'm trying to think of what I rated the other one. This one's a solid 5.
Wow, I give it an F, huh?
5.
I feel bad giving it an F because I still like the story. It's not as elaborate as the last one, and it's definitely not as good as the last one. I want to say I gave the first Scream a 7 or something like that, but I couldn't tell you right off the top of my head. But it's definitely a D for me. Not the best. I would watch it again. Because I do enjoy it, and I like watching series, so I would watch it again. But it doesn't mean it's great. And it doesn't mean I don't like it when I give it a D.
So you typically give D to things you like, but...
yeah.
I'd watch it again, but, it was just really drawn out.
Yeah.
I feel like they really, dragged the whole plot out.
They do.
They
really stretched it. That movie, I think they needed the time that they took to tell everything.
That movie could have been done an hour, in 20 minutes.
Yeah, number 2 definitely could have been shorter, but
There was a lot of, as SpongeBob once said, hoopla. It
hoopla!
wasn't SpongeBob, it was in a training video. It was in the SpongeBob
Yeah.
SquarePants series, but
Yes.
hoopla.
Hoopla! Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so a D and a 5. It works. Yeah, I don't know when this is getting released, so I can't tell you what's next. But
Guarantee it's going to be a podcast.
it's probably going to be a podcast.
Probably going to be a podcast. Maybe a video.
Thank you for viewing or listening. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Constant Crisis, at Constant Crisis 1 on Twitter. I like to say the second T and the third T. Twitter. And you can email us your comments or suggestions or critiques, complaints,
Suggestions.
love letters,
Nudes.
nudes to Constant Crisis Hotline at yahoo.com. And we'll see you next time.
Heyo.